Mottel der Breiter, in Schab dort ständig näht alle Jungen dreht dort in Schab. Spielte Katharinke und schwitzt bei der Maschinke, Mottel ist ein woiler junger Mann. Mottel hat Weib und Kinder zwei, schweren mit der Arbeit sei. Und weil Mottel Arbeit schwer, verdient der Boss alles mehr. Und Mottel bleibt derselbe Uhrenmann. Was will der Mottel, der abbringt der Mottel, will nicht kein Reichkeit oder Geld. Will für Weib und Kinderbräut und amul a Schucha Kleid. Mottel will kein Sach nicht in der Welt. A Streik hat ausgebrochen, schon ganze 12 Wochen. Und Mottel ist a Gitter Unionbahn. Mottel, der abbringt, der als Mensch schickten geht, der hin mit alle in der Picket Line. In steht sein Weib und Kinder zwei, und a Stickelbräuter der Barsei. Tiet Mottel weh das Herz, als gibt euch zum Schwarz, dreht Leben scharf mit das Sein. Was will der Mottel, der abbringt der Mottel, will nicht kein Reichheit oder Geld. Will für Weib und Kinderbräut und amul a Schucha Kleid. Mottel will kein Sach nicht von der Welt. In Picket Line steht Mottel, ein Gangster mit der Battle, verfallen hat ihn dort in Mittengals. Mit dem Flasch was gehalten, hat der Mottels Kopf zu spalten, in sein eigen Blit wird Mottel nass. Geworden ist ein dummer Gespräch, gebracht ihn zu sein Weib und Kinder zwei. Sie weinen Kissen Terren, no Mottel keine Stern, Mottel hat geendigt schon sein Job. Was will der Mottel, der abbringt der Mottel, hat nicht gewollt, keine Schiris und kein Geld. Hat gewollt für Weib und Kinderbräut, jetzt liegt schon Mottel teut. Mottel hat geendigt schon sein Job.
Such a cheery number. Oh my God.
I thought that was thinkingly beautiful.
Yeah, well, sometimes we need also songs like this. Okay, so Andrew, can you read the English,
I recently
please?
heard Chaim Tower's song Shane Vidi Levon. Tower also acted in Yiddish films, and he was probably best known for his roles in the staunchly pro-union films Uncle Moses, which we watched a few years ago, and Mottel der Operator, Mottel the sewing machine operator, directed by Joseph Seiden. Many Jewish workers were very involved in the early American labor movement. For more information, see Jewish Unions in America, Pages of History and Memories on books.google.com. Mottel is a young garment worker who leads a strike in his shop. The owners send in strikebreakers and they beat Mottel unconscious. While he is in the hospital, his wife puts up their baby for adoption. Mad with grief, she then commits suicide by turning the gas on in the kitchen. Chaim Kauber wrote this song. It is sung here by Henry Saposnik.
Okay, thank you. Someone wants to say something?
I have a question. Someplace operator is spelled without an ion after the pay. And some places there's a pay, like an iron would be operator, not operator. Operator. It would be more like the English. And I'm wondering which is correct.
Well, it's an English word,
Oh,
so,
I know it's an English word, but I'm just wondering about it.
I mean, so I've seen it spelled both ways.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Rochelle, will you start reading it, please? Someone, Daniel, yes?
So this sort of just touches on something I was curious about. I always assumed Yiddish never had standardized spelling in the same way modern English does. Is that correct, or am I just wrong there?
Maurice, what do you think?
Yiddish never had what?
Standardized spelling in the same way modern English.
Oh, of course.
I mean, it didn't have standardized spelling until YIVO was invented in the 1920s, and that was one of their main purposes, was to standardize the spelling. But still, you can lay down the law, but not everybody's going to follow it.
Right, that's fair. Thank you so much. I was just curious. Appreciate
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
another language, actually. I had a great difficulty with it, but Troim Handler insisted, my friend, and I have learned how to spell with Evo spelling. So now I see the other way looks wrong to me completely. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Rochelle, can you
Okay.
start?
Ja, Mottel der Operator in Shop dort ständig neid alle Jahren neid in Span. Dreht die Kotterinke und schwitzt bei der Maschinke. Mottel is a voiler junger Mann.
Yeah, there's a mistake in the third line. I don't know if it was me or if it was Michael. It should be alle Joren geht in Span, not Nate. Nate is he sews. It should be a dinner. Geht
Okay.
All right. All right. So Muttel the operator, the machine operator, in the shop, he's always in this shop sewing. All these years he goes around in, I'm not sure what Span means.
What is
Span
Span?
means harness. In
Okay,
harness.
that's what I thought.
Right.
Dreht die Katerinke, he's turning the little machine, and he's schwitzt bei der Maschinke, and he's sweating as he's turning it. Muttel is a voiler junger Mann. He's a good young man.
What's a Span? What's a Span?
Span means harness.
Oh, harness. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
In other words, he does what he has to do.
And voiler means a good young voiler.
Yes.
something-
Yeah, good. A
Yeah.
decent young man.
Decent young
Voile.
man.
Voile is
Okay.
good, decent.
Okay.
Decent,
Okay.
okay.
Elaine?
Where it says Erdreit the Maschinke, if you remember the original Singer machines, you had to turn the wheel to start the
Yes.
sewing.
Right.
Yes, I had one for years. That was my father's, and it was a pedal machine.
Yes.
I finally got rid of it because I had no room for it. But it
I
worked.
electrified my mother's. Yeah. And she put that out on the street, and somebody took it and made it a dining room table base.
Yeah, I have the base also. I have a marble top on it, and I use it on the porch. Anyway, should I go on?
Yeah,
No, I had a
you will
question.
go on, Rochelle, but first Elaine has a question.
Yeah, I
think.
have a question about Dreht die Katerinka. Can you say that again? Like,
Dreht die Katerinke.
what's a Katerinka?
I think it's kind of just,
Turn. It's a
Like
machine.
I
that
know,
turns.
it turns.
I don't know what the origin of it, but
Okay, maybe
In
Rafael
Russian, a
knows.
Katerinke is an organ grinder,
that's what
in the street that makes music. It's also used for other kinds of machines.
Other kinds, any sort of a general, any kind of machine?
Well,
That
I
you
know
turn with
those,
your
I
hand,
know,
that you work
That
with your
that you
hand.
turn. Okay.
Yeah.
Weren't they using it for an automobile in one of the last
Yeah,
movies?
yeah,
I know.
yes.
That's why I didn't understand it.
right.
Okay, maybe Rafael will clear it up. Rafael, please.
Yeah, I think its original meaning is a barrel organ or a hand organ, but then it
Right.
comes to mean we've seen jalopy and here it means sewing machine. I don't know
Right.
how general it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we always, when we didn't know what something was called, like a toy that went around and around or anything like that, we called it a katarinke.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Okay, go on, Rochelle.
Mottel hat a Weib und Kinder zwei, schwer und bitter arbeit für sie. Und was Mottel arbeit schwerer, verdient der Boss alles mehrer. Und Mottel bleibt der selber eure Mann. Mottel has a wife and 2 children. He works very hard for them. And the more he works, he earns more for the boss, but he remains a poor person.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Maurice, you want to add anything?
No, that's fine. I was just surprised about alles verdient der Boss. I would have thought it would be als mehr, but they have alles mehr. I don't know. In other words, the harder he works, the more the boss makes. I would have thought it'd be just als mehr, but that's how it is. I don't know.
I have Alsmer. That's what I have on my paper.
That's what I wrote, but I think Michael must have changed it.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Rina Lea, will you
I knew you
continue?
were calling me because I haven't been here in a while. You're so inclusive. Okay. Was will den Motto der Operator Motto? Will nie kein Reichkeit oder Geld. Will für Weib und Kinder Bräut. Und einmal a Schuch, a Kleid. Motto will kein Sach nicht von der Welt. So what then wants Motto, the operator Motto? He wants no richness or money. He wants for his wife and his children bread, and sometimes a shoe, a dress. Moto wants nothing for the world from the world.
From the world.
Not much. Kann Sach nicht. He doesn't want much. He doesn't
Much.
ask much of the world.
Not much from the world.
Right.
Okay, go on. Another.
Oh, a Streik hat ausgebrochen, schon ganze 12 Wochen, und Motto ist a guter Unionman, a striker, Motto der Operator. Als man schickt ihm, geht und mit alle in der picket line. A strike has broken out already a whole 12 weeks. And Motel is a good union man, a striker, Motel the operator. And then where someone sends him, goes he, and with everyone in the picket line.
Good, thank you very much. Maurice, anything to add?
No, it's good. So as meshiktim is when they send him.
Oh, when, not
As has lots of meanings, but here it's as meshiktim, when they send him.
He goes.
Okay, thank you. Elaine, please.
In Stub sein Weib mit Kinder 2. Oi, Anna Stickelbräut hat sie für sie. Tut Mottel weh das Herz, alles guckt euch zu ihm schwarz. Dreht sich Lebensstab mit as sein. In the house are his wife and his 2 children. Without a piece of bread, she doesn't have a piece of bread for them. I think he's heart sick. He's heart sick, or it hurts his heart
Yeah, that's it.
Everything looks black to him. He hangs out near the shop with a sign.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
Oh, in picket line steht Mottel.
No.
No. Was will den Mottel?
I think Michael changed the order of some of the.
He changed the order.
Read it in picket line.
Okay. In picket line steht Mottel. A Gangster mit a Bottle. Befallen hat ihm dort in Mittengas. Mitten Flasch, was gehalten, hat Mottels Kopf zerspalten in sein eigen Blut wird Mottel nass. Mottel stands in the picket line. A gangster with a bottle attacks him there in the middle of the street with the bottle that he was holding. He cracked Muddle's head, and Muddle's eyes became wet with bloody wet and bloody.
Not eyes.
It's in his own blood.
Eigen? Oh, it's Eigen is not
blood.
eyes?
No, that's
Eugen.
This is Eigen.
This is Eigen.
He's drenched in his own blood.
He's drenched in his own blood. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you. Cookie, can you read, Cookie?
Try. Geworden is a Tummel, a Geschrei. I'm sorry, a Geschrei. Yeah, all of a sudden there was a tumult and a yell. Gebracht is ihm zu sein Weib und Kinder zwei. They brought him to his wife and his 2 children. They weinen, gissen, tränen. They cry and tears are flowing. Mottel can nicht hören. Mottel can't hear anything anymore. Mottel hat geendet schon sein Job. It's the end of Mottel's job. He's dead. Yeah.
Okay, can you continue?
Yeah. Was will Mottel? Der Operator Mottel. What does he want, the Operator Mottel? Hat nicht gewollt kein Aschiris und kein Geld. He didn't want any treasures or money. Hat gewollt für Weib und Kinder Brot. He just wanted bread for his wife and children. It's licked schon Mottel tight. Now Mottel is dead. Mottel hat endiget schon sein Job. He has already ended his job.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Woo.
Good. You read good. Okay, let's listen to it once again.
Mottel der Breiter, in Schab dort ständig näht alle Jungen dreht dort in Schab. Spielt die Katharinke und schwitzt bei der Maschinke. Mottel ist ein woiler junger Mann. Mottel hat Weib und Kinder 2. Schweren bitter Arbeit versei. Und weil Mottel arbeit schwer, verdient der Boss alles mehr. Und Mottel bleibt derselbe Uhrenmann. Was will der Mottel, der abbringt der Mottel, will nicht kein Reichkeit oder Geld. Will für Weib und Kinder Bräut und amul a Schucha Kleid. Mottel will kein Sach nicht in der Welt. A Streik hat ausgebrochen, schon ganze 12 Wochen. Und Mottel is a Gitter Unionbahn. Bottle, der abbringt er, als Mensch schickten geht er hin mit alle in der Picket Line. In steht sein Weib und Kinder zwei, und a Stickel bräuter der Barsei. Tiet Mottel weh das Herz, als gibt euch zum Schwarz, er dreht Leben scharf mit das Sein. Wo ich will der Mottel, der abbringt der Mottel, will nicht kein Reichheit oder Geld. Will für Weib und Kinderbräut und amol a Schucha Kleid. Mottel will kein Sach nicht von der Welt. In Picket Line steht Mottel, ein Gangster mit der Battle, befallen hat ihn dort in Mittengal. Mit dem Flasch was gehalten, hat der Mottels Kopf zu spalten, in sein eigen Blit wird Mottel nass. Gewonnen ist er dummer Geschrei, gebracht ihm zu sein Weib und Kinder zwei. Sie weinen, Kissen, Tränen, no Mottel keine Stern. Mottel hat geendigt schon sein Job. Wo ich will der Mottel, der abbringt der Mottel, hat nicht gewollt, keine Schiris und kein Geld. Hat gewollt für Weib und Kinderbräut, jetzt liegt schon Mottel teut. Mottel hat geendigt schon sein Job.
Okay, I saw that some people raised their hand, Rafael and then Henrietta. Rafael, please.
Sorry, I just never put it down before.
Ah, okay, because he tells me that people raise their hand, so.
I understand.
Henrietta?
The early days of the unions were very bloody, and this song points that out. The unions, the bosses, quote unquote, called in the police, and they would invade the union meetings, and if they were picketing, they would bloody them, and this is where this comes in. If you study the early history of the unions, this song reflects that brutality.
You're right. Yeah. Thank you. Beverly?
Well, in one song, you get a whole history in one simple, beautiful song. But anyway, if you look at one of them, union the people that broke the strike were called scabs, and they paid those people. They paid the strike breakers to beat the people that were striking. They paid them, and then the scabs were the ones that went in. You can see one of the signs says, I think it says union scabbing. I think maybe gray. You see on the side there. Anyway, it's a beautiful song.
Here.
Thank you much. I never heard it.
Staying away. Yeah.
There it is. Gabbing or scabbing? I don't know.
Scabbing. I think it's scabbing.
That's what I.
Scabbing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And it wasn't only the police. There was an organization, the Pinkertons. The Pinkertons, and they were also, breaking up demonstration and eating people. Yeah.
Right.
A few. One of my favorite factoids is that Harvard had a extra credit strike breaking program, and the slogan of the program was "Defend your class."
Defend your class. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So let's stop it. Any more comments about the song before we move to the story?
I just had one question.
Yes, Hilda.
What does the word asheris mean?
Wealth.
Oh, wealth. Thank you.
Okay. Any more comments, guys? Okay. So we are moving to the story today. And like last week, we are in Argentina. It's big enough, guys, or should I make it bigger?
Make it bigger, please.
Okay, just a moment. And this is, okay, I think that's okay? Okay.
Aber Messe Zeit. Yeah, a bisschen mehr.
So this is a, like, it's a novel, but it's basically a memoir by Mimi Pinzon. And I sent you a little biographical information, but in case you didn't read, so she was born 1910, died 1975. Her real name was Adela Weinstein Shliapolchnik, born in Ukraine and moved to Argentina when she was 4. And she published only one book, the one that we are reading, and a collection of stories and essays and literary criticism. Anyway, but in this book, you have like kind of a sum up of the immigration experience that is, you know, from the point of view of a child that grew up at that time. So let's start reading, and I think there is a lot of topics here that we can discuss or, you know, question or whatever. So Susan, if you can start.
Licht, wie auf fremder voor. Like on a strange conveyance or a strange trip, would you say?
I really don't
know.
Just a moment. People, what is this, the poor here? Someone knows what it is?
A wagon or a cart.
It's a wagon. Okay. It's not
okay, thank you. Thank you.
A poor, isn't a poor a pear?
No, it's a fool, like the verb foolen.
Okay.
Like on somebody else's wagon. Zeitig mit umzutreu. With mistrust. Great aliade minut arup zu springen. And ready in a minute to jump down, hat die Mama sich gefühlt in einem Lebenssteiger. That's how the mother felt about her way of life. Was in der neuer Heim era, with the way her life was in her new home. To spanken ihrs a Heim, she was missing her home. Wie der lediger Ort noch an accursed a roisgenommenem zu, like an empty place from a taken away. And what would Sul
Sun.
Right.
Like this, the sunshine. I thought it was Sul. Like this is soon.
No, it's a just pulled tooth.
Just pulled tooth, a tooth.
A tooth, yeah.
Oh, a tooth. Oh,
yeah, okay, means it was just pulled out.
Wie der ledige or well, the empty space when you take out one of your teeth.
Exactly, like my husband yesterday.
This Ort is ungeweitigt voll mit verblutiger Wildfleisch. The place is empty and full of bloody, disturbed skin.
But ungeweitigt is
like
not
a wound.
Painful.
Painful. Ungeweitigt, painful.
the place where the tooth was just pulled out.
Yeah, it's
So it's painful, ungewehtlich.
Und doch kann man sich nicht einhalten. And so you can't stand it. Man muss allemal das unrühren. You have to keep touching it. Hotch mit der Spitzzunge. Even with your tongue, you have to keep touching it.
No, if only, I think if only. You want to keep touching it, if only
with your tongue.
The edge.
Tip of your tongue.
The tip of your tongue.
The tip of your tongue. Spitzzunge.
Und allemal beneis der Film dem weitig, and then you keep stirring up the pain, comes back again. Und die Pustkeit and the emptiness, well, the tooth is not there. Der fremder Arum hat bis Tempkeit abgestoßen mit sein unverständlichen Huha. The strangest around has until, what is Tempkeit?
Dullness.
Dullness. And gestoßen.
Collided.
With his.
Pushed away or rejected.
Okay, with his unable, something that cannot be understood, the whole business.
It's not an easy read, I'm sorry, but it's an interesting one, so.
Fremd is gewesen der ein und einzige Zimmer. It was very strange, the one and only room, die Größe wie a viereckiger Kasten, as big as a four-sided box, ohne Pitzelfenster of the room. It didn't have even a little bit of a window. Mit einem einzigen Bett, and had only one bed, was hat vernommen 2/3 von einem Schettach, which took up 2/3 of the area, the territory there, und gestochen die Augen mit sein Asesdicker braid. And it just bothered your eyes. It stuck your eyes with its presumptuous, or in your face, the wideness in your face. It was in your face. Fremder tummeldicker Häuf. Strange was the noisy yard, full mit Weiber und Kinder. Outside the yard outside, or the like the Häuf would be the with women and children. Tunkel Heutige, dark skinned, und in dunkele formlose, in dark, formless schmattes, schmattes rags, gekleidet, dressed in rags, was haben noch dunkler und schmattedicker, and they were even darker and more ragged. Ausgesehen, they looked even worse by their Asesdicker shine, but they look even worse under the nervy brightness von der goldener Sonne, from the gold sun, bright sun, was hat dem Häuf vergossen, the brightness which spilled over the yard. Alle haben sie gegurgelt. Alle haben sie gegurgelt. They all muttered. Geschrien und gesungen. They yelled and they sang. Auf ein unverständlich fremde Sprache. And they sang, they yelled and they sang in an not understandable, strange language. And that would be the Goyish workers in the yard?
Or the people that lived there, because it was, it was a court, and around the court people were living.
So this was not just a Jewish neighborhood.
No. She says that they were dunkel that they were dark skinned.
Oh, because these were the local people.
Right.
Yeah, and they spoke in an unverständliche fremde Sprache, and they spoke in not understood foreign language, which is probably Spanish here. Yeah.
Couldn't it just be other Jewish families that had been there longer and had learned?
They wouldn't be dark.
Yeah, they wouldn't be dark.
Okay.
So yeah, I think she's giving us the outlay of of how they lived there. So
they might have been immigrants from other countries.
Yeah, maybe, or they were just local people. We don't know. Rochelle, yes.
The imagery for loneliness and displacement is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing language here. I'm so, taken in by it.
Yeah, it's very rich. Very rich. Luisa?
Yeah. Argentina is a country of immigrants, just like the United States. So we're talking probably about similar images of probably much worse economic conditions, but similar images to tenement life in New York. And these people were probably coming from all over the world. But I have to stress that there could have been also people from different parts of Argentina trying to get to Buenos Aires. And they would be the ones with a darker skin. But it would not have been, for example, Black people, because it's very unusual to see Black people in Argentina.
They would be Indian. They would be Indian.
Or Arab.
Yeah, but no, not Arab. Not Arab.
But
they would be not Indian. They're really. I don't think that there was such a huge Indian immigration at all at that time. It would have been people from the different parts of Argentina who would have been darker skinned, much like maybe like some Mexicans, for example, looking, maybe they would be looking like people
Mestizos, mixed race.
I was going to say a mixed race, meaning because Argentina was also, like most Latin American countries, a country where the descendants of the Spaniards mixed with the local population. So,
okay, thank you, Luisa. Thank you. Steve?
Yeah, I have just a usage question about Tunkel versus Finster. Are they interchangeable, or under what circumstances do you use one and not the other? Does anybody have a sense of that?
I think a Finster is dark, and Tinkle is like not quite dark.
No, both of them are dark, but there is a difference. Rafael, please.
Yeah, they are similar. When you're talking about a room, you can use either. When you're talking about a person, you wouldn't say Finster, you'd say Tunkel. Tunkel refers to an object, and Finster refers to the surroundings, the level of light.
Great. Thank you.
Karen? please.
Oh, wait, let me.
Karen, you're muted.
Yes,
Karen, here
yes,
you are.
yes. I want to thank you, Mina, for sending us the information about the author, because if you, and thank you for summarizing it, there's a lot of information that helps you understand this story in the information that you sent us. One thing is that this is sort of like a tenement area called a conventillo, I think, and in it are also Italians and Spanish immigrants from Galicia. So those are probably the people that are being discussed here. And in this first paragraph, over and over is the word fremde used, unfamiliar, unfamiliar, unfamiliar. So it starts out introducing you to this idea that this is such an incredibly astonishing, surprising environment to come for this little girl, Ethel, who's noticing all of this. And it's very interesting. And there's another term in this when it's describing the extracted tooth called Wildfleisch. And of course, I didn't know what that meant. And I looked it up, and there's actually in English, it's called proud flesh. Proud flesh. And that's not like a group that came to the Capitol on January 6th. You might think so, but it's actually this overgrowth of tissue in a wound, for example, an overgrowth of granulation tissue in a wound that goes up higher than the skin. And it's difficult to heal a wound when you have all this overgrowth of all that red stuff, which bleeds a lot. So these are incredible descriptions. I mean, to start out a story and talk about it felt as strange and empty as a newly extracted tooth with proud flesh that you can't resist touching it with your tongue, but each time it hurts even more and there's more bleeding. It's just an amazing way to start out a reading.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Beverly?
We used to say finster in de Augen. In other words, black before your eyes, not tunkel.
No.
So it does go with that.
Aber du suchst der dunkle Stieb oder der dunkle Zimmer.
Yeah, but finster in de Augen is gewend finster in meine Augen. I always say that.
Okay, Luisa, yeah?
Yeah, I wanted to second what Karen was saying about the Italian immigration, because the Italian immigration was the largest in Argentina, particularly in Buenos Aires. And to give you an idea, 40% of the population of Buenos Aires is of Italian descent. And in Italy, the people from the north tend to be whiter skinned, whereas the people from the south tend to be darker skinned. So it is very possible that the majority were Italians anyway. And I forgot to mention the Italians. That's why I appreciate your comment, Karen. And they would have been the darker skinned people, very possibly.
Okay, thank you. Phyllis or Vinkl, yes?
Yeah, I had a question. Maybe someone can help me understand that sentence better. The one that has bis Tempkeit abgestoßen mit sein unverständlichen Huha. I didn't quite understand what the meaning of that was. It's in that second paragraph.
The second paragraph, just a moment.
Yeah, it starts out, die Fremde Arum hat bis Tempkeit.
The fifth line down, yeah, at the end.
Yeah, the Fremde Arum. So the people around. What did you say? What is Tempkeit?
Does it mean dulled or dampened?
Dullness.
Dullness.
With
Until
the,
dullness.
With the
down.
Okay. Refoil, can you just translate it, because I am lacking one or two words. So
yeah, the strange surroundings pushed one away up to the point of becoming deaf or dull with its uninterpretable commotion.
Okay. Okay.
But does that have something to do with the loneliness? It's like a toothache, like the empty space? Is it like an anesthesia? That's what I'm not certain about.
No, I think it means one's senses become dulled because there's just so much commotion around. You can't make sense out of it.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. Karen, will you continue reading Fremd is gewesen?
Yes. Fremd is gewesen die Kirche. Was unfamiliar was the kitchen. Was hat sich rein gequetscht.
Just a moment. Someone is talking and guys, someone is talking.
Just mute if you're not talking. That's the simplest
but
thing. Just mute. It's
the
coming
problem is
from
that I cannot.
Susan Gant. Susan, can you
Hi,
mute,
Susan,
please?
because I couldn't figure who's talking. Yeah. Okay, sorry. So Karen, yes.
Was hat sich rein gequetscht in a lange Schure Kirchen? The kitchen was a cramped one in a long row of kitchens. Gehalten, Punkt wie die andere. Each one like the next. Auf Mischchoiles mit so each one was hanging on by a thread. Auf Mischchoiles. Halten auf Mischchoiles. Halten sich auf Mischchoiles means hanging on by a thread. Mit zera Diener Hiltsener Ventlach, with their thin wooden walls, wie neuf geklappter in Groß geeil, as if they were glued together in a big hurry. Und arriber gedeckter alle in einem mit zwei große Blechel, and covering them with all together with two large pieces of sheet metal. Einem an alten, one an old one, a halb rusted, a half rusted, un einem and one a nayam, a new one, auf welken es haben noch frisch geglanzt Ziffern von der Reuterfarbe. The second one of which had a fresh shining mark of red paint.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Karen. Rafael, will you continue?
Fremd is der Mammen gewesen, der Seder von Leben. It was strange for Mom, the order of life, von Arbeiten, von Essen und von Ruhen, the order of work and eating and resting. Unfremd, Ethel hat das bald aufgehabt, in Eilenisch vergessen und dennoch übergeneigt fehlt. And also was strange, Ethel soon had noticed this immediately, but in her haste had forgotten, and then she felt it over again. Der Tate Punkt wie nit noch im hat sie das also gebankt in die dörfische lange Nacht. Her father, just as she had yearned for him, so wie nit noch im. Punkt wie nit noch im. I'm sure the nit seems to make it a negation. Just as she had not yearned for him,
No,
so.
no. As if not.
Oh, punkt v.
As if she didn't long for him.
Nach im hat sie
That's
doch.
what I think.
Okay, fine. Yeah. It's a long sentence, so we'll see how it works out.
Can you start from the beginning again?
Beginning of what?
Her father, as if she, what was it?
Okay. Her father, just as if she had not yearned for him, so in these long nights in the Dorf, in the town, wenn sie hat Stillerheit getullet das Kind zu sich, when she had quietly cuddled her child to herself. So the entire sentence here seems to mean that, now who is Ethel? This is the first time we've seen Ethel. Is that the mother?
No, Ethel is she is the one that tells the story. She is the child. Ethel is the child.
So Ethel just had suddenly noticed and then noticed again that her father was someone whom her mother had yearned for, I assume, in the long nights as the mother was cuddling her child.
But now he's a stranger to her.
I see.
Fremd is the Mammen gewesen und der noch übereins der viel der Tate.
Und fremd is given der Tate. Oh,
so fremd is given der Tate as well. Because, you know, he came first and then he brought them over, but in the meanwhile, he changed.
So he also has become strange because he's not present there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, please, can you do that from her father again? Because now it's a whole new meaning.
Okay, but you can't really start with der Tate because you've got to go back to the very beginning. Fremd is der Mammen gewesen. Strange for mother was various things, including now her father, the father, that is the mother's husband. Just as if she was no longer yearning for him in these long nights, holding her two children. Der Tate, ist erschienen für ihr bald auf morgen, noch ein kommen als a Woche dicker und auch österlicher. Father, he appeared in front of her only in the morning after coming noch ein kommen als a Woche. Woche dicker means weekday-like, and österlich means strange. So is he there or is he not there?
No, it's his clothing.
He's there, but he's sorry, Karen, go on.
I think I can explain it. The next morning he comes sort of, it seems like it's ordinary, but however, it's remarkable. So it's both ordinary and remarkable. I think that's.
And so the father is coming home from work.
I believe that they're just recently reunited. The mom, Ethel and her mom have recently arrived, and they're now seeing what the daily life is going to be for them in his routine. And so the next morning, they're now finding out how strange and unfamiliar he is.
I see.
So
he appeared in front of her.
While they were,
the problem is the word Woche dicker.
Yeah, which means ordinary here. So he appeared when he came such an ordinary, but still unusual. As es hat sich gelohnt, noch und wieder einmal ihm zu betrachten, as they managed again and once again to observe him und zu nachgucken ihm von der warmer Sicherheit, to observe him and to look again at him from the warm assurance von der Mamen's bed, of mother's bed. Wo sie is gelegen eingenuret, where she, I assume the mother, was lying nestled. Bald in der Früh, early in the morning, hat sich bewiesen der erste Simen von Verfremdkeit zwischen Tate Mama. Appeared the first sign of the distancing between father and mother. As der Tate is aufgestanden, when father got up, hat auf den Ort von die nächtige jontivdicke Kleider seine genommen auf sich etwas am modne Porhäusen. When he woke up, when he got up, in the place of his holiday clothing from yesterday, he put on some sort of strange pair of trousers, von welche is upon him, da in land herausgewachsen, from which he apparently, here, having grown up in this land, from welchen is, where's the verb?
I think this is, he apparently in this country had outgrown these pants.
Outgrown them.
Herausgewachsen, outgrown. Okay, there it is. So a very strange pair of trousers from which he had apparently here in the country grown out of. Very good, thanks. Machmazeh haben im Koim der Grecht bis zu die Knechlach, because they barely reached to his ankles. Iberzeh, and on top of the trousers, adinim, what's that? Senshun chayanim rekel, some sort of a vest, but what is senshun chayan?
I couldn't find, Karen, did you find it?
No, I couldn't.
Senshun chaya.
I couldn't find, I tried,
it looks like it might be Spanish.
Yeah,
but the gauchos,
right,
they wore these pants and they're like suede or animal skin vests. Maybe that's what it means.
Senshun chaya.
Luisa, is it Spanish?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, it must be Aztec. All right. Some sort of a thin rekel.
Let's read that word aloud. Let's read it.
Senshun chayanim.
Senshun.
It sounds Russian.
Senshun?
No, the second part.
Senshun chayan.
There could be a word in
What
the.
is rekel?
It could be a word in one of the indigenous languages.
It could be, yeah.
Guarani
What is
or Mapuche.
Nah. What is rekel?
A rekel is an overcoat, a short
jacket.
coat.
Yeah.
A jacket.
Jacket.
Yeah.
Hat gehabt machen Tee auf der Maschinke für die Gäste. He started making tea on the machine. We don't know what kind of machine, I guess, for his guests. Waren Weib mit dem Kind, for his wife and the child. Allein hat der Besmeise, my guess is that he came first and they've just arrived. And everything is strange for them. And he has already been there for a while. And so they are his guests. Okay. Allein hat der Besmeise gesucht von etwas a längliche Lülke. Himself, meanwhile, he was sucking at some sort of a long pipe. Die Mama, guckend auf ihm mit große verchiedischte Augen, mother, looking at him with large, amazed eyes, hat bei ihm a Frage getan. Asked him, Yankel, nu? Und davenend? Hey, Yankel, well, how about your morning prayers?
Okay, thank you, Rafael. Thank you. Claire?
Ja, nehmen Sie ein bisschen schwer.
Ja, es ist ein bisschen schwer für alle. Ich habe das
Ja.
gemeint, viermal bis verstanden. Es ist ein bisschen schwer für alle.
Ja,
But
ja.
just before you start, I see that Feigl raised their hand. Feigl, yeah?
Yeah, I think maybe that long straw that he's sucking out, it might be an allusion to the mate, the tea, the yerba buena tea, because later they're going to talk about the straw, the metal straw. So
I think that after they're
mate.
talking about mate.
But what's this long tube that he's sucking out of? That might
a pipe. Pipe.
Oh, okay.
Pipe.
Can I ask something, Nina?
Yes,
Or
of
say
course.
something? It doesn't this passage sound, I mean, it's the child speaking, right?
Yes, the child.
So
Everything here is the child.
So it sounds like they did in the old country that probably the child is sleeping in the same bed with the family. The whole
Okay,
family.
they don't have space for more.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the child watching her mother in the same bed, observing the father on this first morning.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. So everything here, everything is the child.
Child's viewpoint. It's amazing.
It's told
writing.
from the child. Yes. Okay.
Amazing writing. Yeah.
Okay, Claire, der Tate.
Okay, the father, ich darf in Yiddish. Der Tate hat verknecht dem Stern und a halber Stern. The father wrinkled his forehead.
Wrinkled furrow.
And the half of a forehead is by ihm modne heller given. And it was strangely lighter. Heller?
Yes.
It was strangely lighter. Und weißer von dem Rest Ponim. And it was whiter than the rest of the face.
Yeah, so she's saying that half of his forehead was whiter and brighter than the other.
Probably he wears his hat outside all the time.
Exactly.
And the other part is
Exactly.
and
yeah. Okay, go on.
Do Hanele.
Hanele is the mother. Hanele is the mother.
Ja. Do Hanele. Davenen alle in der Früh nur alte Jiden. Here, Hanele, only older Jews pray in the morning. Oder jene Hevrelite, or those people.
So who are those people?
Ich weiß nicht.
Well, I think he refers to the Orthodox, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I don't know how many of them were in Argentina, so I'm not sure.
Right. Von jener Leute. Hat sehen, als der Mann ist...
No. Kein alter Yid.
What?
The line above it. The line above it, kein alter Yid.
Above it, jene Hevrelite. Oh, ja. Kein alter Yid bin ich noch. I'm not an older Jew, dachte ich, I believe. So I'm not an old Jew, I believe that I'm not an old Jew. Und von jene Leid, and from those people, hat sehen, als der Mamis Ponim hat sich verkrimmt. He saw that the mother's face hat sich verkrimmt, frowned, made a frown, in weeping, while weeping.
No, she made the face like she's going to weep.
As if she's going to weep. Und hat auf Gier zugegeben. And he quickly added, du weißt doch allein, als von die Größe Frumakes bin ich keinmal nicht gewähnt. You know yourself, you yourself know, as von go große frommen Marcus, as that I was not made up of these very, very religious people. Bin ich kemel nicht gewesen. I was never that.
Whoa.
Huh?
No, go on.
Yeah, continue?
Yeah, continue.
In the Shion nicht übergelegen. And in the synagogue, in der Shiel, where am I? Aha, nicht übergelegen. I didn't stay long. Hat sich wie angetan a Koyach und noch derlegt. Hat sich wie angetan a Koyach. He seemed to add some strength to continue talking und noch derlegt, and added, Efsher amol Shabbos. Sometimes, maybe sometimes Shabbos, as Svet nit oisfallen in the erste Tag von dem Chodesh. If it would not come out in the first day of the month, Vel mir zen. We will see. Maybe we can go then. We'll see. Ich will dir öfter zuführen, angucken dem Tempel. I might, or I will maybe take you to have a look at the temple, was die reiche Jiden haben da ausgebaut, which the rich Jews here built up. An emissary palace, a real palace.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Claire. Any question, guys, until now?
Yes, I think they just got there. And so he's telling them, maybe I'll take, I think the little girl and the mother just arrived.
Yes.
And
yes.
so
Yes.
and father says, well, I'll take you to show you the beautiful synagogue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But also, she comes from Eastern Europe, from probably a small place where they are, praying and holding all the things, all the Jewish things, and he is there in Argentina. We don't know how long, but he slowly gets away from all the traditions.
Right.
Well, maybe the minute he stepped off the boat, he was glad he didn't have to. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? Exactly. Yeah, who knows?
You don't know.
Okay. So on get on. Michael Fissman, please.
Ungeton in a streuenem zugeplatzten Kappelisch, wearing a straw flattened hat, was hat in Einreger opgewischt die Hellkeit von dem Stern, that in a moment wiped off the paleness of the forehead, when Modna reingepasst zum reutlich abgebrannten Collier von dem Ponym, and strangely fitted with the reddish, sunburnt, I assume, color of the face, plumpt wie der Kapeloish, exactly like the hat, nicht der Stern, not the forehead, is a tail von sein Kopf, a part of his head, hat der Tate verworfen auf dem Achsel a größten Pack mit Skeuren. The dad threw on his shoulder a large bundle of goods, Tischtucher, cauldrons mit seidene franzen, tablecloths, blankets with silk fronds, gebliemte Zeig of Kleider, goods with flowers for making dresses, mit a Passig verbunden. He tied it up with a belt or a cord when er raus von Stub, and he left the house. Die Mama hat geweint. Mother cried. Auf alles hat sie geweint. She cried about everything. Auf dem, was in Pitzelkickel hat die Sonne in Kopf. Because in that tiny kitchen, the sun burns through the head. Hacken is actually to chop, but burns through to the head und glitt on dem blechenem Dach, and it makes the thin roof like fire. It burns. It makes it burn. The Keulen Charten, the coal gives off carbon dioxide. When Wasser darf man zappen von ein Kran für alles reinnehmen. And water you have to pour from one tap for all the neighbors, zum Kochen, for cooking, zum Waschen, for washing, und zum Trinken, as well as for drinking.
So, Michael, just a moment. I think the foil want to add anything.
Yeah, just a minor thing. Chod is carbon monoxide, not dioxide.
Oh, sorry, I meant carbon. Thank you.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah. Otto der Kran, was ist eingebaut niedrig bei der Wand. The same tap that is coming through the wall, low down through the wall, wo Kinder und mit Children and Erwachsene and grown-ups suppen das lebliche Wasser, drink the solid leblich label. I'm not sure what leblich is.
Lebliche,
Lukewarm.
Oh, thank you. The lukewarm water right out of the Meshnam Piskel, right out of the brass face in the Chamendika Teg in these in these hot days.
Yeah, Chamimdik is more like warm days. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Michael. So the other Michael Moore, I saw that you are here. Can you read, please?
Unfortunately, I'm on my phone and I'm also working.
Okay,
so
no problem. No problem. Yeah. Okay, so no problem. Beverly.
Hold on, where are we?
Geweint.
Oh, and
Second
geweint
paragraph.
of them. Oh, what's geweint?
Cried.
Cried?
Yes, he cried.
Weinen.
Cried, okay. It could mean something else, I think, too. Like no, but okay. And she cried, was in dem neuen fremden Land, within this new strange land, is euch der Tate geworden.
Where are you? No. Where are you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where?
No, page 22.
Right.
No, here.
Geweint hat sie auf dem.
Yes.
Okay. There's the same thing down below. And the next paragraph below is the same word.
Oh, yes. You're right. Yeah, but we are still here. We are still up. Yeah.
Geweint hat sie auf dem. So she was crying. Was kein ein Wort, was die übrige Schreinem, not even one word, which the other neighbors, the Gajene?
No, it's Gallega.
What is this, Luisa?
Gallega people from Galicia. So these are Spanish immigrants who, by the way, can also be darker skinned. Again, like in Italy, north of Spain tends to have people with whiter skin. People from the south of Spain tend to be darker.
So those are people from Galicia. Okay.
Right, because actually in Spanish it's spelled with a double L. So it would be a person from Galicia would be a Gallego, but the Argentinian pronunciation for that double L instead of it being lle, like in traditional Spanish, it's je. That's why it's Gallego from Galicia.
Okay. Gallega.
These people
Okay.
spoke with a Galiciana dialect.
With the Galiciana.
What did you say?
What? What kind of dialect?
Galiciana.
Galiciana.
Yeah, they're from Galicia. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
When I first moved to New York in 1974, I was living on West 22nd Street and 8th Avenue, and it was a fairly Spanish neighborhood back then. And there was a bar around the corner called Galicia. And I thought to myself, oh my God, it's my people. It wasn't.
Der Gallega, der Sala, und die Italiener kes the Italians von dem Commodore.
What is
Comedor.
what is the
Comedor.
what is the sale here?
Comedor is the eating area, the dining area.
Dining, and the sale is a salon, yes?
Yeah.
Sale is sala in Spanish. Yeah, sale would be a Yiddishization of the word sala. And
Okay.
then comedor is the eating or dining area from comer.
Und von die übrige Zimmer and from the other rooms, ewig nicht kein verkämmte?
Verkämmte?
What is verkämmte?
Never, their hair was never combed.
Oh, verkämmt.
Combed, yeah.
Oh, never combed. Oh, sorry. Ewig noch Emerson gestorbenem. Maybe once a dead person.
No. You have to read. You have to read to the end of the sentence.
Okay. In schwarz abgekochene treuer Kleider ungetan. Sounds like they look messy.
No. They were always dressed in
black
morning clothes.
Morning clothes. No, Emerson gestorbenen because of someone. Yeah.
Somebody died, so they always dress in black. Like in Italy.
Right.
In Italy, they have that.
Yeah, like in Italy, in Spain. Yeah.
Pain.
In Borough Park, they did it too.
What?
Sorry, Cookie, what?
In Borough Park, if somebody, an Italian person, she lost her husband, she stayed in black for 7 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Widow's weeds.
Yeah.
Kein einzig Wort von dem, was sie reden zu ihr. Okay, so she does every word that they speak to her.
No, kein einzig Wort. Not a word. Not a word that they are speaking to her.
Dafke mit a lieblicher, heimischer Mina, even though it was loving and friendly.
Yes.
Right. I don't know how Mina, how would you say Mina?
Mina is an expression.
Expression.
Okay.
Polish. That's from Polish.
Mit schmeichelndig freundliche. Yeah, they were smiling and they were friendly. Oh, this word I don't know.
Havayas, that's Hebrew. It's also expression.
Havayas und scharfe Bewegungen von die Reute verkascherte Hand. So the red hand, I don't know, verkaschertes.
No, verkascherte is wrinkled.
Wrinkled hands. Hype sie nicht an zu verstehen. She can't even begin to understand.
But scharfe Bewegungen, it's like I talk with my hands. So she cannot, even though they're speaking their hand, the end that are red and wrinkled, she cannot understand.
She doesn't even understand. It's hard.
Okay. Refoel and then Rochelle. Refoel?
Yeah, just two things. When Havayas usually in Yiddish means gestures, and Farkashita means with the sleeves rolled up.
I thought it, but I found wrinkled in the dictionary.
Well,
but yeah,
the sleeves rolled up will be katchet. fakatchit, maybe.
Yeah,
the
it's like
best
you're.
But they
thing.
get kasha in there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank
you. Rochelle, yes?
Yeah, the description of the housing here reminds me of what we used to call a kochelein in the
Yes.
Catskills,
Yes.
where we had every family had a bedroom,
Right.
and there were a row of little kitchens that you could barely turn around in, but it had a little stove and a refrigerator, and then there was a big room in which people brought their food. And these were old houses that were converted, and it was a way to get out of the city into the country in the very hot summer. And it's also, if you, I don't know about other places, but in Koreatown in New York City, there are rentals like this where families rent a bedroom and share a kitchen and a larger eating area.
I
That
was in
makes it affordable for the immigrants.
They do that now. You're seeing now a lot of corporations buying houses and letting out the house to several people. One of my neighbors sold his house to one of those people, and there's three separate people living in three separate families living in one house with three
Wow.
bedrooms. And they do this with immigrants especially.
They do it with students here in Stony
Students as
Brook.
well, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Students, yeah.
But it's different with students. They're
But this idea of all these little kitchens in a row, I have images.
Right.
I was probably 4 or 5 years old when we go away to these little places.
Kocheleins.
Hills.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Luisa, yeah?
What is scharfe Bewegungen?
Scharfe Bewegungen. I think it's sharp
Gestures.
movement. Gesture. They were talking
Gesture,
with
movement.
Gestures.
They were talking with their hand. They are Italian, Spanish, or Israeli for that sort. Talking with their hand.
I didn't understand. Why couldn't the Jews understand them? They talk with
Yeah,
their hands too.
exactly. Anyway,
they're
Maurice.
using different words.
Yeah. That's a good one. Okay. Maurice, please, the next paragraph.
Ungewöhnt hat sie auf dem, was in dem nahen fremden Land ist euch der Tate geworden an andere. And she also wept over the fact that in this new strange land, the father had also become different. Anaya und Fremde, new and strange, und auf den Ort von Sitzen beim Tisch, and when sitting at the table, a lachendike und heuchredendike. He laughed and he spoke loudly. Sitzt nur in die
Go.
Sitzt
It's the Gimel.
Go in die Oventen an ungemurte und schweigendike. So when all this noise is going on, he would sit there kind of lost in his thoughts and silent und tascht epis azelche weiße, what's that?
Kartendler, cards. Kartendler.
What is that?
Cards. He's shuffling cards.
White cards.
He's shuffling cards. Like something that he's writing on, like not playing cards. Cards that
little
he wrote
cards,
something,
I see.
little notes or something like this.
Right, in welche reingelegt, in which he put, he said, die ganze Horavanie seine for the poor year, all of his hard labor for those couple of years sind in America, since he been in America. 9 Git Etlen, is that Nit or Git Etlen?
Nit Etlen.
Nit der Mammen is zum Herzen die neue Heim. Neither for Ethel nor her mother did they like this new home.
So now we know that he's already the poor year, that he's already 2 years in Argentina, and maybe Maurice, if you can just finish it, till the.
Oh, I can't, no, get somebody
No.
else. That's it's too much.
Okay, okay. Okay, no problem. Louisa, just we will finish.
Bald dem ersten Tag haben die Kinder in Heu herumgewinkelt, Ätlen Unheu. In right from the beginning day, the children in the courtyard got around Ethel in Unheu.
And in a loud voice, in a loud
in a loud voice, mit their modness lashon, with their modness,
Strange or odd.
in their strange language, Bosgate Bazei, which is around them, dachtig, I think, nicht von dem Maul, not from the mouth, nor from them nose, neither from the nose.
Not from
their mouth, but from their nose.
The language does not come from their mouth, but it comes from their nose. It's like Spanish or Italian, something.
No, not really. It's not a nasalized language so much. But anyway, Abgelacht von ihr Volk. Laughed von
Abgelacht von ihr Euler. They poke fun from her, from the way she is.
What? From the way she walked?
Not only she walked, but
it's her attire.
Yeah, from her attire, exactly.
Yeah.
Von dem Schalichel, from the Schal.
Yeah.
Was die Mame hat sich nicht eingestellt, abzubinden, ihr vom Kopf. So they were they found it very strange or funny that from the Schal, which the Mame hat sich nicht eingestellt, did not get rid of, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did not get rid from the head. So
the mother didn't get rid of the
Shal.
of putting it on her head, of tying it on her head.
That's what I mean.
Like it was in the old country.
Right, that's what I mean. Das Kind soll sich Halile nicht verkillen, that the child should not Halile, God forbid, get cold. Watch the Zoom, so she's worried about all these things, right? That the child would not get cold. Watch the Zoom hat euch gesmaliert kunem Oktober dicken Himmel arab. So God forbid that the sun.
No. That God forbid that the child will not get a cold. Watch the Zoom, even though the sun was, burning from the
October skies.
Yes.
Right, from the October skies. Von die lange blaue Meitkes. From the long blue, is it?
Blue.
This is her underwear, I think.
Meitkes is underwear.
It's in Polish too. Was haben herausgeguckt von unter den roten Kleidele, which were sort of showing from underneath the red dress. Von die Yiddish gestrickte Socken from the homemade, I guess, knit socks.
Yes.
In the Heuche Botikle in the tall Bodlicher Areingerupte. Botikle
is a small boot. Half a boot.
In the tall, meaning the socks and in the tall, I don't know how to put them together.
That they were put into
Into the tall boots, the little
Yeah.
socks that were put into the tall boots, right?
Yeah. But
Dort,
vertically is a half a boot, not a full length.
yeah, yeah, a lower boot, yes, of course. Dort hat zum ersten Mal der Herzit rufen Russa. Oh, okay, there we go. So there, it was the first time that Ethel heard herself being called Russa, meaning Russian, which was the derogatory word that they used for all Jews, because most Jews who arrived in Argentina from the beginning were from Russia. So to this day, when anybody in Argentina talks about the Russos, it's an offensive word to indicate the Jews. Farstane. So this was the first time that she heard that word, Rusa, and she understood it, Farstane. As those is the Beleidigung, which this is an insult.
Yeah.
That is an insult, yes.
Insult, yeah.
Sich der Mond in Onia, is it? That she reminded in
in someone, Anya the Galactic, someone from home probably. That we don't know. Yeah.
In Anya der Glachtes Laskes und reingefallen zu der Mammen in Kiew. So what would that be? Anya der
Galach, a priest.
Galach is Anya is a name, and Galach is something of the priest.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know what is Laskes.
In Polish, Lasse means forests. So I don't know.
It means favor. It means favors, graces, or caress.
Caress. So
what?
Okay. So why did she? So she remembered the caresses of Anya the Galactes, is the wife of the priest.
Reingefallen zu der Mammen and in Kiev, and she fell onto her mother in the kitchen. Sich vergehendig in Geweih. And she was crying.
And she burst into crying.
They're crying about everything there.
Yeah. Okay, so we will stop here and we will continue.
Are they saying she was the Galach's wife?
No, probably she remembers the
caresses, yeah.
Yeah, she remembers, yeah, but why and what we don't know, because I don't know. Maybe it's that's the second chapter of the book. The first chapter is how she and the mother are preparing to come to Argentina, but it's not so interesting, so I didn't bring it. So I think the more interesting is how they are getting along in the new place, and the reaction to the new place. So any comments, any questions? Yeah, Luisa, yes, please.
Yeah, I think that we have to picture ourselves or picture them in an environment where they're coming from a very religious background. And Argentina, I don't know at the beginning of the century, but I'm sure that there was a lot of that even then. A lot of it's very secular society. Maybe they were more religious then, but we can see that the father is becoming secular because he's trying or adapting to the surrounding people that he sees, and people dressed, like they would have been dressed in the shtetl or doing these things would have been very, very strange. So the father is adapting or has adapted and become little by little more secularized. And obviously they are having a very hard time understanding.
But we have to remember that they just arrived.
Right.
They just arrived. So, it takes time.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Any other question or comment before?
I'm just so glad we're getting a chance to read this. I would never, ever be able to ever get this on my own. And just having everybody cooperating together to get through it, it's such a blessing. Thank you all. It's
just to
so
say that
interesting and so well
someone
written.
is translating it into English, but they didn't finish the work yet, so it's not out yet. But I know that I read somewhere, I think
that they're working on it.
Yeah, I think
Good,
in
because
Gebet
it's
or something.
it's beautiful writing. It's really well written. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Thank you everybody for hanging in there and working together to get through it, because there's no way I'd ever be able to read it myself.
Yeah, but yeah, we are doing it together. It's not an easy one. I know that it's not an easy one, but
it's
but
worth it.
We will get through it. Yeah, Louisa. Yeah.
Yeah, so this would have been written right at the beginning of the century, right? More or less.
I think so. Well, we don't know. It was published, it was published in 1965, but it doesn't say anything. I think it takes place at the beginning of the century, maybe the 20s, 30s, something like this.
So I wanted to make a cultural comment about Argentina in comparison with the rest of the Latin American countries. Of course, most Latin American countries and the heritage of the Spanish conquest allowed for a lot of mixing of the races, as we have said. But until the very first, Argentina was one of the first countries that really opened up to immigration, because the leaders of the Argentinian government in the 1800s admired very much the model of the United States. So when the United States opened immigration in, for example, the 1860s and so forth, before and after, there was a president from Argentina that his name was Domingo Faustino Sarmiento, who came to the United States and basically ended up exporting to Argentina a lot of the frameworks, political frameworks, including the Argentinian constitution based on the United States. So, and even the cultural outlook was very important. So education was very important, and also immigration, because Argentina, let's picture, it's this vast land with a lot of local population mixed with the Spanish conqueror descendants. And that was the biggest difference between the United States and all the Spanish conquered countries, was that in the United States, the immigrants never mixed with the local population, but the Spaniards did mix with the local population. So then picture the 1860s, 1870s, and so forth. So Argentina is this vast environment where Sarmiento was a big proponent of education. He was a teacher, and he really developed education in Argentina. So he figured that they needed to bring foreigners from Europe, particularly, so that there would be many more inhabitants in the country. So here is the Spanish background population. And then, of course, a lot of Spaniards from Spain came. Then a lot of them came later during the Spanish Civil War, of course, much later. But then Argentina has this Spanish background, but a huge influx of those Italians, and then people from everywhere, because Sarmiento was doing what the United States was doing, which was to create a melting pot.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Luisa. Daniel?
Hey, Luisa, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, and forgive me if you did. I didn't hear it. But yeah, Argentina is the only country I know of where the Spanish itself seems very heavily influenced by, more recent immigration. It sounds Italian to me. Io 3 anni di italiano, and like whenever I hear Argentinian speaking, if it sounds like Italian to me, but not quite, I go, that is an Argentinian.
Yeah, but you see exactly, thank you for mentioning that, because it's kind of funny also. Those of Buenos Aires are particularly influenced. Our sing-song is exactly the one from the northern part of Spain, of Italy. Every time, and I've been blessed by having gone to Italy many times. And every time my husband and I would arrive in Milano, I would tell him, I feel like I'm at home. This place is full of Argentinians. Because the sing-song of Buenos Aires, though, is exactly like the sing-song of Milan, the northern part of Italy. But the rest of the country has completely different linguistic influences and completely different sounds to it. So if you picture that the Argentinians who live closer to Chile speak more like the Chileans, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of internal variety in the language of Argentina. But every time they say something, oh, your Spanish is so different, meaning the Spanish of Buenos Aires, because all of our slang is also from Italian.
Thanks so much, Luis. I actually didn't know that. Most of the Argentinians I met are from Buenos Aires, so naturally that's what I think of. But yeah, like Argentina, so the Buenos Aires Spanish, along with the Cuban Spanish, are the two dialects that stand out so much to me from the rest of Latin America, that I can instantly identify a person where they're from based on the accent. Because I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I can understand a bit, and both of them are so distinctive. I can pick up on that pretty quickly. So thank you for sharing your knowledge. I honestly thought most of Argentina sounded like that.
Okay, thank you all. Luisa, keep coming. We need you here because we need you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Did you see the reference about the big temple?
Yeah.
Yes. In one of the two temples that I sent you the pictures.
Yeah, I saw the picture. Yeah, you sent it. But also, we need to remember that a lot of Nazis went to Argentina, including Adolf Eichmann.
Yeah, but that's later. That's later.
But also, weren't there early Sephardic the ones the Jews that were forced to convert? Didn't they come even earlier? I know in Mexico, right? But didn't some of those go to Argentina?
I am not sure about any numbers. It is known that a number of
maybe smaller.
I would distinguish between the Sephardic and the conversos.
Right.
Because the ones that you have in mind are the conversos, the so-called marranos, that apparently ended up in the north of Mexico, according to some stories.
So not that many of them went on to Argentina.
I do not know. But what I was trying to say was that you're talking about the conversos, and of course there were Sephardic Jews who later came to Argentina when the United States doors were closed. But in comparison to the Ashkenazi immigration, they were not that many.
Much smaller.
They were less.
Not enough to have a big influence in anything like how the language sounded or whatever.
Well, what happened was that we have to give credit. There were groups that came from Syria and Lebanon into Argentina. I don't know exactly when they came, but there were Jews that comprised. There is a Sephardic community within the Jewish community, and it's a very important community. It's just smaller than the Ashkenazi. So the Ashkenazi dominates, but the Sephardic exists. And then there were those who came from the Ottoman Empire speaking Ladino, but remember that Ladino is a kind of Spanish, so it immediately becomes subsumed back into the language. Those who came speaking Ladino, second, third generation, my best friend from my childhood in California, people who I grew up with, they were Ladino speakers. So she remembers sayings, but they don't speak it anymore. But anyway, it's fun. But the Sephardics exist, and they're an important part of the Jewish community of Buenos Aires.
I'm just asking because I've read that they think that something like 2/3 of Brazil has Jewish DNA.
It is very possible.
Yes.
And we have a Brazilian expert here.
Yeah,
absolutely. Right.
Okay, guys. It was really interesting, and I think as we continue to read the story, the discussion will continue, and so that was the reason to bring this story, because we can talk so much about Jews in Argentina. So I'll see you next week. Sei gesund alle.
Gesund.
And
Gesund.
noch a Woche.
Thank you. Great
Bye.
story.